I wanted to show you the very first video I made and edited, but the topic I'm covering is actually law of reciprocity, which is how do you control the shutter speeds and f-stops in your camera to basically take any one shot 10 different ways. That gives you perfect control over whether you're freezing a subject, where you have blurred subjects, or whether you have everything in focus or only one thing in focus. Like, this is the core thing you need to learn as a photographer. And I still use this video in my college classes. But again, it's the very first one I made. I didn't know how to edit, so I just bleeped out all of my frustration and profanity and just kept rolling. Anyway, hope you enjoy it. And if you do, let me know that you do in the comments. Like, would you like to see more of this type of video where I'm not trying to take myself so seriously? I leave in my mistakes and just bleep them out. I'm curious if that helps learning this content, or does it hinder you? Well, pretty humiliating, but here we go. Hey guys, I wanted to show you how to do law of reciprocity. That sounded I need a new take. Wait, I'm getting a text. Hey, I wanted to teach you how to do law of reciprocity. Now wait, I know you're worried, like how am I going to learn how to do what my camera does? But that's my job, to teach you how to do just that. And I would just like to reiterate that you don't need to be a math genius or a Las Vegas card counter in order to understand how to use shutter speeds and f-stops interchangeably to balance out your exposure. So what we're going to do is I'm going to write the shutter speeds right up here, all across here. Now, I'm not going to write them down here. I'm not going to write them down here. I'm going to write them all across up here. So let's get started. Remember, keep your eyes up here, okay? So the shutter speed scale starts out at 1/1000th of a second. Then it divides by 2 all the way down. So 1/500th, 1/250th, 1/125th, 1/60th, 1/30th, 1/15th, 1/8th, 1/4, 1/2, 1 second. That's the full shutter speed range. Now f-stops, let's start at f22, then it goes to f16, then f11, then f8, then f5.6, then f4, f2.8, f2, and f1.4. Now obviously some cameras will have, as I've mentioned, they'll go down to 30 seconds or up to an 8,000th of a second, but this is a standard scale, and let's start with that. So again, the top one is the shutter speeds, the bottom one is the f-stops. Now let's work on some law of reciprocity problems. Hold on, let's restart that. Let's start with some problems, and I'm going to write them. Why isn't it letting me? Okay, let's start with some problems. I'm going to write them right over here, so make sure you keep an eye on this side. So let's start out with something like 1/500th at f8, that's middle of the road. And let's say we want to shoot something with maximum depth of field at f22. So let's figure it out. We started at 500th at f8, and we're moving to f22. Count the stops. 1, 2, 3 stops over towards less light. So we need 3 stops more light. So we're at 500th. Let's go towards more light. That comes to a 60th of a second. So 1/60th at f22 is the same exposure as the first equation, but I controlled what's in focus. Let's go to the next one. 1/25th at, what's a good one? f8 would be kind of a middle of the road. So, and let's say we want now the opposite. We want only one thing in focus. So we're going to choose f2.8. Let's mark them. So 1/25th at f8, and we're moving to f2.8. How many stops is that? Remember, you count the bumps. You count each movement as one full stop. So 1, 2, 3 towards how many? Towards more light, right? Plus 3 stops more light. So we need 3 stops less light. So 1/1000th at f2.8 is the same exposure as 1/25th at f8, but I controlled how my camera recorded the depth of field. Let's try another one. Let's go with 1/8 at f16 equals 1/500th at f what? Obviously, we want to freeze something, right? Change our shutter speed from 1/8 to 1/500th. Mark it on your scale so you don't get confused. 1/8 at f16, and then count the direction you're going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Didn't count right. Let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 stops, less light. So in order to balance out the equation, we need to have 6 stops more light on the f-stop scale, which is going to be f2. So not only did I freeze something, but I also attained a very shallow depth of field with that second choice of shot. Now, let's go with 1/25th at f22 equals 1/8 at f what? So obviously we want to control, blur, or pan to go from 1/25th to 1/8. So let's mark it out, 1/25th at f22, and we're going from 1/25th to 1/8. That's a total of 4 stops towards more light. Remember, the 1 second area is more light. That 1/1000th is less light. So we need 4 stops less light. Wait, 1.4 is more light and f22 is less light. So what do? With this lens, we can't take this picture. We just need to come back at a different time of day because it's too bright, which is going to be a common problem when you try to do or panning. So we came back later at night and we metered 1/25th at f4. So to get a control blur, we wanted to go to 1/8 at f what? Count them out. Be a total of 4 stops towards more light. And so we'll go down the f-stop scale and we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 stops towards less light. So 1/8 at f16 is the exact same exposure as 1/25th at f4, but the first shot has frozen shallow depth of field, and the second shot had either a control, blur, or pan with a lot of depth of field. Hey guys, so that pretty much wraps up this session of Law of Reciprocity. I hope you enjoyed them, and for your viewing pleasure, there are a couple of deleted scenes at the end of this that I'll show right now. Great illustration of, so is this recording? I hope so. Motherfucker. Stupid movie. What am I trying to say? I feel like such an idiot when I'm talking. All right. You take. I need a new take. Hold on. So this concludes our Law of Reciprocity lecture. Can't get my eyeballs to go down. What's wrong with my eyeballs? Okay, there we go. So, looking right at you. Right at you. Woo! Something's wrong with my arm. Bam! Hey, if you like this video, it helps. You can help me. Smack it, whack it, and crack-a-lack it. Take care. I like subscribers.
That's awesome. Whoa. Yes! Oh my god, I did. This is...
Hey, you stayed to the end. You know what that means? You're awesome. I'm talking about you. Now get out of here.